Hello everyone, we're here back again. Jafet, Santiago, producer of the International Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention. I'm here with the one and only Diane Farris. Farris? No.
Farris.
Farris?
Yeah.
She's our host of the 2023 convention.
Yes.
First of all, thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you. It's so much fun.
It's been fun, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You've been to Puerto Rico before?
I was here once on a cruise.
Oh, you told me. Yeah,
I was one of those terrible tourists who came in for like 6 hours and ripped up the place and left.
And left.
But yeah.
How's been Puerto Rico so far?
Oh, it's beautiful.
You like it?
It's a really nice change from, I left my house, it was 26 degrees out 2 days ago. I've been on the beach every morning. It's nice.
Of course.
Yeah.
So where you living?
I live in New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna have cold for a while. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're just starting to get cold.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm relieved to be here. It's a welcoming environment. It's warm. It's beautiful. What's not to like?
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Like this year, it's been different. Yalska and I talked early this year that we want to make something different, and we decided to honor like the woman who started the movement, and you are part of those women who have been creating history. You know, you started your shop in 1991.
Yes.
How was that back then?
It was just in general, tattooing was not popular.
Yeah.
And I wanted to open in a town that was nice. Like a nice town that had like a nice main street, you know, just a mom and pop stores, that kind of thing. And I was given actually a very hard time. You know, a lot of people didn't want to rent to me. I couldn't figure it out. I went to like 5 or 6 places that were for rent and nobody called me back. And then I called one of them back and he said, I'm not going to rent to a tattoo shop. And I didn't even like realize it. It's like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, and then I found somebody who would eventually rent to me. And then the town was very hard on me. Like I went to get all my permits and the fire marshal came up to me and he said, I'm going to make sure you don't open.
Wow.
And
just like that.
Yeah. It was not even like a pretend threat. He was pointing his finger at me and all that. And I just said, I'm sorry, sir, I'm going to be following the rules and I will be open. And I did. And when he inspected me, he was really angry because he could not find anything wrong. However, for me, and they know I'm going to run a very clean, tight ship because I did pass inspection and they wanted to find something wrong.
And what happened?
And they didn't find anything. I went above and beyond, and the guy was like, I have to pass you, and I am not happy about it.
Well,
so
that's your problem, my friend.
Exactly. But then but in their heads, then they kind of know they don't have to worry because I did really play. I played it, you know, I did everything to the max.
That's awesome.
And then 2 years later, they gave me the Economic Development Award because while people are waiting for tattoos, they're going to the store next door, they're getting a burger, they're getting a sandwich, they're going to go shopping. Exactly. So I'm bringing more business,
of course,
to their town. So it didn't take long for them to realize that it was helpful, but at first they thought, well, we don't want bikes there, we don't want motorcycles around, we don't want, you know, rough and tough people. And tattooed people are just regular
teddy
people.
bears.
Yes.
That's how I call it.
Yes.
Like, at first, when I started the first convention, I was kind of, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, I don't know, like I had these misconceptions. Then I'm like, dude, these people are like teddy bears.
Sure.
And they're super nice people, super smart people. They are very aware of what they eat. They're super cool people, and I really enjoy being around you guys. We come from the music world, you know. We produce music shows, but we've always been involved with artists, like composers, musicians, and it's nothing different.
This is visual art.
Exactly, it's the same. Like artists have this chip in their minds, you know. They were born different.
Absolutely.
And people like me, we need artists for us to do our business, you know, and to help and to serve this community as we serve songwriters. And you know, I think we all need each other. We all need each other.
I mean, art and music is what makes the world go round.
Exactly.
That's the pleasure factor. That's what makes people smile.
Exactly.
People have their jobs and then they relax. We're lucky that we get to be in the art and music world for a living. It's like you're always smiling then, you know? I mean, it's a great thing.
You've been traveling also for a lot, right?
Yes.
What's the hardest part of being a woman and the change that you've seen across the board for the past 3 decades?
Changing in
the culture of women entering the industry, because you have to fight yourself to get in to get your own space. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I feel like it's just that the industry is growing, so there's more inclusion. Yeah. And I don't feel that there's really any. I don't think it's difficult to get into tattooing anymore.
Yeah.
I also was an audio engineer for many years on the side, and that was also a male-dominated field.
Yeah.
And I would definitely get people, like I'd go on tour with a couple bands, I'd be one of the very few women on the tour, and there'd be many times people thought that I was there to, you know, to just mess around. And I'm like, no, I got sound check, I gotta go. Like, you know, I gotta figure out what's going on with this, with the chain here.
Yeah.
And people can make assumptions if they want to. I'm not the kind of person that lets anything stop me.
I love that attitude.
If I want it, I'm gonna figure out how to get it and how to go for it, you know?
That's so nice to listen.
And the world is expanding. There's just so much more. There's so much more, like with media, social media, that the worlds kind of intersect now and they flow into each other. It's like music is music, but music is branding, and you know, music is art, and art is music and media, and it's really not clear cut anymore. And I love just the mess that we've made of it, kind of, right? It's like, it's just and you never know who you're going to meet that's going to help you to get to the next stage now. Things used to be very separate, like you go down this path, you go to school for this, and that's what you're going to do, and you keep your job, and then you retire. And now it's like, dude, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 3 months, you know? So it's you certainly have to be able to flow and roll with the punches, but that's what life is about, you know?
So true.
I mean, you want to be bored, or do you want to, like, try it out
and ride.
And even if it goes wrong, it's like there's another ride right there, you know?
Where do you come from? Like that way of thinking, it was all, you were like that all since your childhood, or or
I've always been a problem child.
Oh, let's call it, you think different.
Creative.
Just
creative. My dad was very creative.
Yeah.
I definitely grew up in like an art and music household.
Well then,
and
they were not surprised if they were in music. They were like, okay, another one.
I was never told I couldn't do anything, and on the other hand, and I'm glad it didn't happen, but my parents never thought about, like, how is she going to make a living doing that? Like, I was never told, like, oh, you should think about a career, you'll need money, you'll need to retire. They're like, as long as you're happy. And we didn't have money. Like, I did not come from a rich family at all. So, but they just really weren't prepared for life. My parents were definitely not prepared. Like, they're, you know, but it was fine. Like, you know, I've got a brother and a sister, and they're both cool, and they've got great families. You know, I've got great nieces and nephews, and we all kind of live a creative life. And as long as you're present and you're enjoying what you're doing in the moment, the next moment is easy. And if it's not easy, then you figure it out when you get through the hard part. I don't know.
That's a great advice for young people, honestly.
Yeah, you can't get hung up on the small stuff.
Exactly.
Just be here now, because you don't know. They say, what, tomorrow is not promised for us all.
It's what we have right now.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
So I think so many people, and young people now, they get so frustrated because they don't see. They wanted to have everything like organized from 20 years from now, you know, and sometimes they get frustrated.
But that's part of being young too, I think, you know. I mean, I definitely was more of a, you know, like, I was a tougher person when I was younger. I still wanted what I wanted, and I would push to get things. Sometimes I would push too hard and then realize that the payoff wasn't necessarily there, because you probably pushed too hard, and sometimes it's about where you are before you get there.
Yeah.
Because we never get there. Like
it's a highway.
Exactly.
It's a road.
It's like you can get off any exit you want, get back on the highway, but you never really arrive. I mean, until you're dead, and then that's that. You know.
I always say that the same. I think people confuse about, like, for example, the word success. People think it's a place that you arrive, and success is a path. It's a long road, and being successful means enjoying the road and becoming better each and every day.
Oh yeah.
At what you do, at what your craft, become a better person, become a better entrepreneur. Always keep learning.
Keep learning and liking yourself enough to value what it is that you do for yourself, whether it's eating good food or whether it's engaging in good conversation or listening to music that makes you happy, or or working a job. Like, I need to make X amount of dollars, I'm going to work some overtime this week. Like, whatever it is, but that you're working towards your own self-worth. Yeah. And you got to be cool with yourself first. You know.
When you start tattooing back then and till now, what makes you feel like how do you feel when you create a piece of art? Can you describe that for a person that doesn't know the feeling?
So tattooing, there's a payoff in tattooing when you do a good piece that the person loves, and if they want a piece that you've actually drawn for them, it's even better. However, sometimes the payoff is more about them loving it, and it doesn't even matter. Sometimes I'm just a drafts person. Sometimes I'm not that creative. Yeah. I'm just giving them what they want. But if you've really done your research and listened to them very well as to what they want and turn it into a design and they love it, that's because a lot of people can't express themselves that well, especially people that are not in the arts. Have a very hard time of it. Like, they'll say, oh, I want this thing, I think I want it red, but then they'll point to like something that's almost a purple. And then you have to just navigate the whole color spectrum. Like, well, wait, so this is purple, you said red. Like, what are we really looking at? And to really fine tune every single bit of it till you can tell that it lights them up. Yeah. Because tattooing is commercial art. You know, it is for someone else. Yeah. And they should have the last say. Yeah. It's on them. Yeah. And when you see that they're like, that's perfect. Like, there's a way they sit up or they light up. And it's like, oh, that's the thing. That's really the piece. It's like, all right, I've done my job. And you as an artist and as a creative person, when you were young, did you try to convince people on doing something that you felt were more artistic, or you always been like that, like respecting the customer, and if they want I've always been like that. I've got a street shop. The shop, that Powerhouse Tattoo in Montclair, New Jersey, is a street shop that I opened in 1991. I don't own it anymore. I sold it, but I still work there. Okay. And it's always been a street shop. I always wanted to be a neighborhood street shop. Everybody deserves a good tattoo, you know, and literally, but that's the triumph of being there, and we've been there over 30 years, so people come in now who, like, my grandmother got tattooed here, or my mother got tattooed here, and it's really beautiful to have generations coming in, and I believe that we've gotten the reputation of being, like, honest and above board, and I'm not going to try to push you into something else just because I want to draw it. Yeah. Right? It's what people want. And a lot of times people don't quite know what they want yet. You
just have to listen to them and
sometimes I'll give them homework. You know, they'll be like, I want this, I want the Virgin Mary, and I want this and that, and I'm like, all right, you got your homework to do. Go Google this and look up these, and Google that and look at these, and see if you can live with the two of those together, come back, and then we'll work on that. Like, you know, people have to, if they have a hand in the creation process, they're much happier. And they also don't get to blame the artist.
Yeah, because I think, and this happens not just in the tattoo world. in everything in business or relations. It's what people expect from the other when there's no clear direction on the matter.
Yes.
So I really think that listening, what you're saying, listening to the person and trying to understand and guide them through the process, because sometimes they don't even know how to what they want.
Right.
You have to help them get to that point. I think that's the secret of every relationship, of every business. That's how you serve your customers.
Oh yeah. I mean, being a leader is about listening.
Yeah.
You know, people are you're gonna tell them what to do. You need to know what they're capable of,
exactly,
and what you need to have done, and then how that can all work. I mean, it's in every aspect of business anywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Then that's how they are going to evaluate or measure the success or the failure of the projects or the piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you listen to them, even though it might not be what you probably will do for yourself, or if you have 100% creativity like green light, if they feel that's what they want, it was a success.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how it works.
Absolutely.
In business, in art, in music, that's how it works. So I think listening more nowadays is something that people need to take more into consideration.
Yes.
Across the board.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I think a lot of problems now comes because people don't want to listen, or they have their own opinions and not listening to the side. And I think communication is what drives them, like big projects, big ideas that come into reality is when you listen to people. And it's
the conversation.
Exactly.
It's the, I have an idea, but got this written down, and then I'm working with you, or figuring out whatever it is, but having more people involved in it creates conversation. And that's where you get a spark. That's where you get some interest. That's where you get another idea comes out, and somebody goes, "What if we do it this way?" And then everybody goes, "Oh my God!" Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah, and I do think that now, sort of like at the convention where we're at now, is great because people are walking around and talking to each other. But in general, if you're like on a bus or public transportation, everybody is just on their phone.
Yeah.
I'm swiping and swiping and swiping, and oh God, I missed my stop. And we do get a little bit too involved in the social media and or the commenting from the keyboard warrior kind of thing, like, oh yeah. But there's got to be a point where you sort of take a step back and let humanity back into your conversation and back into your world. That's still number one. And if we don't have that, I mean, AI is great, but
we're humans.
Yes.
We're social people.
Yeah.
We were born like that.
Yep. Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah.
We need that.
So today we had this panel.
Yes.
Can you share some of the things that happened for those that came to the convention, so they understand what was going on and what's going to happen tomorrow?
So we had a panel today of senior luminaries in the tattoo business, all women.
Yeah.
Pat Sinatra, Vivine Lizanga, Jackie Gresham, Deb Yarian, and myself. I was lucky enough to be on the panel. Jen Carmine put it together. We did a Q&A and just talking about what our experiences were. And I mean, Vivine, I think, started tattooing in like 1972, maybe.
Crazy.
Something incredible like that. And I think she said it was years, like a multiple number of years before she even met another female tattooer. Yeah. That is how few women were in the tattoo business. For myself, I learned from Spiderweb, who was in New York City, and it was more of it was a tattoo shop, but he was very arty. He did other works. He did magazine covers and things like that. So I was a little bit more on the art side and not so much even I was tattooing, but not in the tattoo world per se. When I opened up my own shop, I did find that women tattooers came to me. However, on the stage here, we were really talking about the economics, what it's like to be a woman in tattooing that far back. It's like, oh, but Deb Yarian's got 5 kids. She's talking about doing that, and there's no tattoo union. There's nothing. There still really is nothing like that for tattooing. There's no union. There's no labor union or anything like that for tattooing.
Wow.
as far as I know, in the United States at all.
And it's a huge industry.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
That creates a lot of economic impact.
Yes, it does.
Across the globe. Wow.
And we were talking. We had some stories because when Jackie, she started tattooing in New Orleans, and I believe she's possibly the first black woman tattooer, like altogether, period. Yeah. And she was saying back in the day, it was almost expected to have to kind of wear the push-up bras and the really, really short skirts, and because you're almost seen as an anomaly, as like an oddity. Like, oh, look, there's a woman with a tattoo machine. Like, oh, what's your angle? It's like, oh. And people used to call Powerhouse and say, oh, I heard you guys tattoo in bikinis. Like, it's like, no.
No, wrong information.
We can actually tattoo. But it's interesting because we're talking about things that happened to us that wouldn't make any sense to a woman who's in her 20s now getting into the tattoo business or not. Just in terms of being discriminated against and the things that we were up against, which all of those circumstances have virtually disappeared, thankfully.
Thanks to what you guys did.
Yeah.
So you help a lot of women, and we wanted to recognize that in this convention.
Thank you.
And honestly, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here and for sharing your experience. It's very inspirational for all of us, and we just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Tomorrow, the Sunday one, there will be women with 30 years, about 25 to 30 years experience there. Yeah, so it's doing the panel again, a different panel, and it's going to be great. So you can come. Tickets available at tiquetera.com. You can come, enjoy, have a nice Sunday with us here at the Puerto Rico Convention Center in San Juan. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and see you soon. Absolutely. Take care. Thank you. Ciao. Bye.